Puerto Vallarta. Ooh, Max has another slutty story from Puerto Vallarta. do you guys want to hear another slutty Maddox story from Puerto Vallarta? Type 69 in the chat room if you want to hear another slutty story. This one was Puerto Vallarta. Well, I'm seeing a lot of 69s. Okay. So Maddox went to Puerto Vallarta one time. Here's the amount of time Maddox took from planning his trip to purchasing his tickets. 1 hour. Well, that's it. Maddox just decided to go to Puerto Vallarta on a whim, and he bought his ticket, and next thing you know, he was on the plane the next day. Swear to God, it happened that quickly. So Maddox flies to Puerto Vallarta, and Maddox was like, he's never been there before, and he looked up Airbnbs in Puerto Vallarta, and he found one for $17, and Maddox like, holy fuck, that's cheap. But then he decided to upgrade and get an Airbnb that was 2 blocks away from the ocean because he was going to splurge. And guess how much that one cost? $25. It's like nothing. So Maddox upgraded to that Airbnb. So he gets down there and Maddox gets to the hotel room and he's just exhausted. He's just sitting around in his room, not doing anything, just fucking around on his laptop. He hadn't even gone out yet. So one of his friends back in Los Angeles, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Go outside, ding dong. Why don't you go enjoy your life? Maddox like, you know what? You're right, sweetheart. I should. And so Maddox packed up his laptop and went downstairs and started wandering around. By this time it was like 1 in the morning. Maddox thought he missed out on all the action. So he's walking down the street thinking everything's closed, and then he comes up to a Senor Frogs. Yeah. If you guys don't know what Senor Frogs is, here, let me show you what a Senor Frogs is. Let me show you Senor Frogs. Senor Frogs. Yeah. See? Okay. This is the vibe at Senor Frogs. Just to give you an idea. There's all these shot girls. It's a pretty wild place. This is Senor Frog. In fact, here, let's see if I can find the Senor Frogs. Puerto Vallarta. I'll show you the exact one Maddox went to. Oh, yeah, this is, okay. All right. Okay, this is a good picture to see because this is going to be relevant to what happens next. So Maddox thinks that everything's closed down in Puerto Vallarta, so he's walking around, and he sees a Senor Frogs, and he's like, oh my God, there's a Senor Frogs that's still open. And it's like 1 a.m. here. Let's see if I can find this. So he walks into Senor Frogs, and it's wild in there. They're having a wet t-shirt contest. I got hiccup. Wet t-shirt. Okay, I gotta be careful what I click on here because I don't want. Okay, this is pretty risque. So it goes to Senor Frogs, and they're doing a wet t-shirt contest. Okay, and there's all these girls up there. There's basically this picture here. I don't want to pull it up because I don't want to get in trouble. But, Senor Frogs, wet t-shirt contest. Yeah, it's basically like this. Alright. So he goes to Senor Frogs, and he walks in, and there's a wet t-shirt contest going on, and there's an announcer with a hose, just literally like a garden hose, and there's a bunch of girls up there dancing, and he's squirting them with a hose. And basically with a wet t-shirt contest, the girl who shows the most skin accidentally wins. You're not supposed to take your shirt off because that's against the rules, but somehow, there's always a girl who's real slutty and she takes her shirt off. And then the announcer acts like he's losing his fucking mind. He goes, oh my God, can you guys believe this? This girl took her shirt off. You're not supposed to do that. And then he pretends to act outraged, and he turns around like asking all the judges. He goes, judges, can we allow this? We have to disqualify her. She took her shirt off. But everybody's loving it. Everybody's like losing their minds. So finally, after the wet t-shirt contest, Maddox thinks, wow, he's so glad he went outside, right, during 1 a.m. Then, the area that the girls were doing the wet t-shirt contest, they pan off, right, they close it off, and then they start dropping foam from the ceiling. That's what this thing is in the middle. You see that white column right there? That's foam. So Maddox all of a sudden was in a foam party. He wasn't planning on being in a foam party. He was just wearing pants. So all of a sudden he starts walking around this foam party, and everybody's just getting hot and horny. I swear to God, everyone is horny in there. Everyone started making out and grinding and bumping and jumping. Maddox doesn't know anyone and he doesn't speak Spanish, so he's just walking around like a fucking tourist, buying drinks after drinks. And he's hoping that they're using clean ice in the drink so he doesn't get diarrhea. That's the only thing on Maddox's mind. Hang on. So he's walking around in there, and then, you know, he also wants to avoid getting the soap bubbles in his eyes because he thinks that there's probably bleach in there or something. So he's walking around. It wasn't bleach, it was just like bath soap. It was fine. So he's walking around, and all of a sudden, he walks by this really cute girl, and she locks eyes with Maddox. And Maddox locks eyes with her, and she was giving him the fuck eyes. So Maddox walks over and just says, "Hola," and she goes, "Hola," and she goes, Maddox says, "Habla inglés," and she goes, "Yeah, I do, I speak English." She goes, "Where are you from?" And Maddox says, "Los Angeles." She goes, "Oh, Los Angeles, I like. and then Maddox, and then she pulls Maddox in and starts making out with him. And Maddox like, holy shit. So he starts making out with this girl. He doesn't even know her name. So they start making out for like, probably like a minute or two. And then Maddox looks over and there's someone trying to take a picture with her. And he's like, what the fuck? Why is someone trying to butt in on my makeout sesh, trying to take a picture with her? And then Maddox turns to look at the guy. It's a guy with a camera. And it looks like that he is her boyfriend. So Maddox is looking at him, and he's like a tiny little dude. Like Maddox should take him, it's no big deal. But he's looking at this guy, and then he looks at her, and he looks at the guy, and the guy doesn't care. He's like, what the fuck? I guess they're swingers. I guess they're like open. So she takes a picture with him, then she hugs him or something, and then she turns around back to me. I mean Maddox. She turns around back to Maddox, and then they start making out again. Except this time, Maddox is getting kind of bored of this makeout sesh, because then she's starting to bite. You know, she's doing that thing where girls think they're sexy and by biting her lips, his lips and stuff. Maddox is like, all right, I'm done with this. So Maddox wants to break away, so he's like, oh, I want to find out her name. So he goes, so what's your name? She goes, goodbye. And then she just turns around and walks away. It was the weirdest fucking thing. This girl walked away and then she started dancing with her boyfriend. Maddox still doesn't know what the fuck any of that meant to this day. It was one of the weirdest encounters ever. And then Maddox kept milling about this little dance party over here, this little foam party with all these like hot and horny people, and he kept walking by every now and then just checking, seeing she was still with her boyfriend. It's the weirdest fucking thing ever. Real weird experience. Oh, Maddox has lots of slutty stories from his travels. There's more stuff that happened on that trip too, but that's for another time.